Welcome everybody to 48 Talk episode 116. I'm your host, RageBaldi as always. Joining me this time is DX Sakamina on the right, Derek on the bottom left, and Colin on the bottom right. How is everybody doing today?
Just the usual.
Okay. Or this evening, this morning for Derek, and the rest of us are like going in there. Time zones.
Yep.
Did you guys know that wintertime is going away? They're
yeah, next week.
Yeah.
Next week.
They're gonna go do it away, so it's gonna be fun. Anyway, lots of stuff happened, I would say. Just better than last week. Let's call it that first.
Yeah.
Let's open up with the handshake event that happened last weekend. It was it's national, or this was the individual handshake event?
National?
I think it's a big one, but it was a special one for multiple reasons, and the biggest one I would say this was Yamamoto Sayaka's final handshake event. And I already read about Andy's final experience, and it was really touching to read it, and they ended on, well, continue supporting and we'll meet again somewhere else, just not in NMB48 anymore. So it was still a little bit saddened. What do you guys, how do you feel with now vastly approaching the final days of Yamamoto Sayaka in NMB48?
It's real. Now it's really close, man. Sayaka Sonic is in 2 days or so. So yeah, feels strange. NMB without Sayaka. It's going to be really weird.
Yeah. So the CD came out. I'm sorry, Derek. Go ahead.
No, all I was gonna say was that it's very it's surreal, you know, to lose somebody as iconic as her, you know. So Osaka needs to take place.
Yeah, this is pretty much Matsuri Rena level graduation, or Maeda Atsuko level graduation, pretty much.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah, I mean, she's one of the big ones.
Very, very sad graduation song, I would say. Well, fun to hear too, but if you just know the story behind it, it's just a little like...
Wow.
So, but yeah, Colin, you have the CD. And congratulations, because it's you are helping them become the #1 chart on the Oracle chart.
Yep.
Really nice. It's really nice CD. I really like it. I really like the insights too. It's like very pretty colors. It's like with blue, and it's pretty. I really like it.
Very bright, I would say. What are the sales numbers actually? I forgot to look them up for day one sales.
The day one sales were below 200k, 200k, but I forgot the exact numbers. But by this time in the first week, they have around 250k. So it's at least higher than their previous single. Yeah, which is good because, you know, Sayaka has graduated.
Yeah.
So. Nice.
And what do you think so far about the songs? Now do you have the object in possession?
I like the main song still, Boku Date Naichayo, something like that. I really like the song. I like it. It's not what I was expecting, but I like it nonetheless. I like one of the team songs, Team M, True Purpose, is more my thing. It's got more of a beat to it. And the graduation song from Sayanee, that one is also pretty beautiful to listen to.
Yeah.
They're all three of them are on my playlist. So I'm happy that I get like 3 songs that are neat.
Awesome.
Well, in the meantime, they also NMB had their 8th anniversary, their live performance, and there's some news out of it. But first, before the big news, well, the now ace of NMB48 had like a little speech that sums up some news out of it. That she is, I wouldn't say depressed, but feeling like she is not developing the way it should be. Yeah.
She feels like she's stagnating a bit, actually. So yeah.
And personally, I disagree, but you know, I can't change her feelings on that side. Exactly. If you look at it, you know, the YouTube channel that someone beat her in Sousenkyo higher.
Pretty.
Nabisa getting more TV time, and Miru says after Produce 48 Korea that she's more in getting more gigs, basically more modeling and more shows to do, and she's feel like, well, what did I get out of it? What's happening to me? I'm still here. I'm stuck here, and she feel like I cannot lead NMB48 when I cannot even fix myself. So she feels down, and just the pressure added now because of Sayanee leaving. I think that's really tough on her on that side.
Yeah,
it's more like, it feels like she doesn't have a purpose anymore for some reason, and I went through the same trouble myself actually this summer when I was feeling right down because I was like, what am I even doing here? And I really needed a lot of people to convince me, yeah, you're needed. And I have a feeling she's going through the same, I would say. So this is really hard, man. It is really hard. All we can do as fans, try to support her as much as we can for now. Because I know that feeling all too well. I know it all too well.
Yeah, well, sorry to hear that, DX. Actually, I didn't know that. So, but Miru, she's in an interesting place in NMB because NMB has had like one bomb after another go off in their camp, and I mean, from people leaving to songs not exactly producing what they needed to, and then of course Sayanee again. When you think about the big ones that are still left in AKB or even in AKB's history, she's easily one of the biggest because you thought NMB, it was Sayanee, you know, just like you thought SK, Darina's or the Matsui twins, you know, double Matsui. You know, you lose one of those, like in SK's case, and SK's light goes a little dimmer. You lose NMB's only major light. It really does cast a shadow on those that are left. And again, NMB their ranks have been decimated this year. So Miru, she could look at it one of two ways. One, yeah, like life is about to get real hard on you because you got all this pressure because everybody's looking to you to lead NMB, and rightfully so. If there's anybody I can think of, it'd be her. I remember listening to her during Takumina's grad concert event, and she was the lead in GinoZX. And I couldn't believe how good that girl's voice was because she was singing live. I heard, you could hear it. She was live.
She was live.
That girl's got a voice. And then the second way you could look at it would be, this is an opportunity to advance. This is the best news ever for you because your biggest roadblock is leaving. Now, I mean, I hate to look at it so cutthroat, but think about it. Like the one person who has been stealing all of the light, she's gone. She's sayonara Sayanee, So it's like, it's your time to shine. And I think the big problem with her is she stepped into Produce 48 and she didn't do what she thought she was going to do. Because think about it. Here's something to think about for you guys. What would have happened if she would have actually made it? What would happen to NMB?
They would be in.
Who would have been next?
They would even in bigger trouble.
Problem.
And that is exactly the reason I wanted to mention this. I personally, you know what? It's really weird to think about these things, but what if this was rigged in a way that Miru wasn't actually added into the group? Because if you look in Produce 48 history, she was number one in in the Rollin'. That was like the best song out of there, picked as number one, always on the heights, never just always in the top, and then the final week, the one time it really needs to be that she's in the top, she's not there. Like, not even close. Get what I'm saying? It feels like weird that she got so much support during the entire of Produce 48, and exactly when it's needed, she doesn't make it at all.
If you want to add to the conspiracy theory, what would have happened if Jerrison would have won?
That's also.
The ace of AKB would have been gone. Bye. See you later, Jerrison. You're off to Korea for 2.5 years or whatever. Like, it's like, oh my God. So if you really think about it, Produce 48 was cool. It was a nice, interesting distraction. It was pleasant. I don't even want to use the word distraction. That makes it seem less. It was cool. And it was an interesting thing. I don't necessarily like the overall outcome. We're losing Sakura-tan, and I'm really sad about that. But at the same time, I think for her, it's probably going to be the best thing for her. But yeah, if Miru would have won, Jerrison would have won, been in that. But we'll just say Miru, since she's actually, like you said, She disappeared at the last moment after being such a high contender, and then now, of course, she's probably feeling stagnated. I mean, she's probably feeling what Sakraton's been feeling for years, like wondering why she can't ever make it, you know? But then again, when you're in a group with, what, 300 plus members, that's going to happen to somebody, and as it turns out, it happens to her. If I was Miru, if I was her, I would, be focusing on grab here, focusing on what she does best. She's got the body, she's got the model look, focus on that. I would try to get myself in a position, if she has an interest in leading NMB, to start looking at herself like a leader. And the best way to do that is don't start feeling sorry for yourself, and don't start posting like depressing like death cab for cutie posts, you know, where it's like, oh, life is horrible. Like, it's not. Like, your biggest competition just left, girl. It's time to shine. And she, of all people, can do it.
I liked that basically Sayanee responded to her at the stage live. And she said, well, you just should not supposed to look at me or someone else or someone that. You need to be the next you. It's
right.
It's like there's no next Sayanee, there's no next Milky or stuff like that. There is just Miru, and just show the best Miru that there is. And again, from the fan viewpoint, like I personally said, if she just keeps going where she is, and with this new opportunity, she will get there. She is a Senbatsu member. It just, her opportunity needs to be more shown. And what's the difference between what Sayanee did to be more opportunistic in NMB or like in AKB48 group than what Miru does? And it's just basically participating in the Senbatsus from AKB48 group, and maybe at events, and having lots of screen time. And she already does that. But now there's, what you said, the roadblock is gone. So it's always, if they need someone to represent NMB, it's always going to be her. The main focus is always her. So her spot is now very prominent for her. So I think it will turn around. And management saw this as well. So go ahead, Derek.
No, please continue. I'll finish
like
this. You're good.
Management notices as well, so they're closing literally this chapter after Sayanee and starting a complete new one with the next announcement that happened, a NMB48 shuffle.
Yeah.
And NMB had a shuffle last year as well? Something like that?
I can't remember.
The year before that?
Might be, because that's when Jonichi Ray and the lot were promoted.
Yes, it was when the new generation came up and was already promoted in like new different sides of that. So the fact that they are deciding another shuffle means they want to really start from scratch again and give each team their shining moment. They don't want to have too many popular members of NMB48 in one group.
Team, yeah.
Team M, yeah.
So who knows? New opportunities will come up, but I think Miru will shine after all of this. So yeah.
Yeah, great point. Absolutely great point, Robin. But here's the thing to add to that, right? Like NMB, I'm admittedly not the biggest follower of NMB. I was at a certain point, like during the Milky Sayanee heydays, the Saya Milky, like, you know, combi, like. They had that moment, and right around the moment I'm talking about, they were doing a documentary about like they're rising up and like trying so hard to get higher and higher and higher in the noticing presence of this AKB family. Yeah. And when you always thought about good dancing, you thought about NMB and SK battle. Like it was always those two going head to head. You want Kawaii, you kind of went to like HKT. NGT was like still the new kid on the block. No one really quite knew what to make of them. Now they're freaking powerhouse, or AKB, you know, part 2. Yeah. But I'm saying like NMB has a chance to really reclaim that throne, because SK is kind of in a disarray. They're losing Calaton, Dasu's doing Dasu, Jarina's absent. You know, they're not where they need to be, and the SK house has better get itself organized. But this is, again, Sayanee's leaving. SK had the greatest leader of AKB in SK is MIA. You know, NGT, you gotta watch out for them. NMB has the chance to really step it up. They haven't won anything specific in a long time. I mean, since Milky won the Junkin. You know what I mean? Like, it's like they haven't done anything. They haven't done nothing. So this could be their year. This could really be the year. Now, the shuffle, to me, it's inconsequential. I don't think anyone who follows AKB on a casual level doesn't know enough NMB members even care. Like, there's 5 or 6 I could probably name, and that's it. You know what I mean? As far as, like, people that matter in terms of, like, name presence. Now, for the true NMB fans, my apologies. You guys know what's up. But I'm just saying, overall, this is a real chance. You start the shuffle. Miru sucks it up and says, you know what, screw everyone. NMB is my group, and nobody's taking it from me. You come out with a bad ASS, dance EDM track to remind us that NMB are great dancers, and they were putting out consistent, like, banging hits one after another, but also give it a little bit of Osaka flair, make it a little bit like Warota people, have a little bit of goofiness, just remind us why we loved NMB in the first place. GinoZX is easily one of the best songs ever in AKB48's history. Ever. And, like, when you hear that song, you cannot not dance. You cannot get into it. Yeah, I mean, Robin, you saw NMB. You know more than anybody. Like, tell me the power of NMB when you saw them. What did you think when you saw them? And I'm not saying just because it was your first concert.
No, but
put that aside.
GinoZX Live is insanely just so powerful, and it's because they really hype it up. It's not because of the props they use. They use very nice lighting and fire. That always helps. But it's more just the build up, and they go all out, and you see that is their song. Yeah. That is the song that represents NMB48 out of all their songs. And yeah, like I said, with the shuffle, for us, that is not too much in NMB. We're like, well, they're still in NMB, so we'll see them whenever. They're still top members. But maybe for some people who are like very hardcore into NMB, they're like, oh, that team was so well done. Like Colin said, like Team M is currently very powerful. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't even dare to see that. But you see the power that NMB has, because when I was there live with that concert, it didn't even feel like the Yamamoto Sayaka show. It's like she was there, but she was like an NMB member. She was participating. She had some standing out moments. But the rest of NMB also had, their strong moments, and it was like, this is definitely how a team should feel like. But what we need is that next step, that next level, and they had that, but the other groups are catching up, or even higher, like for say an NGT. They are throwing it out there, and that's what NMB needs to do. I think like a year ago or last year we said NMB is in trouble, and if I look back, NMB now is not much in trouble as they were, even though with Yamamoto Sayaka leaving. It's just they still need to... They're at a safe spot. They need to find a way to elevate themselves, because they can't stay at that safe spot forever. So...
Yeah, agreed.
I don't know, just do the shuffle, get the new teams, promote the new songs, get a kick-ass song out there. I think that's the one thing you said. Is like they need a new version of GinoZX, or something similar that blows us away, that gets the attention, that wants us to see NMB48.
I mean, this is a problem overall for all the AKB family groups for the most part. They all need bangers. They all need, like, songs that you hear. You're like, oh, yeah, this is my song. Let's go.
Yeah,
like,
let's go.
You need that all throughout AKB. But NMB the most. Because I'd even say more than AKB. Because NMB, at one point, let's not forget, they had, a #1 album on Oricon charts. And I think by sheer merit, they were the hot item. Like, they were the tour to go to back in the Saya Milky days. And you know what? I don't want to constantly be that person who's always looking back and saying it was better. It's not that. I'm just using it as a comparison, that I know it's all in them. I know that the girls that are coming up in NMB have great senpais to teach them. They have a lot of history of NMB to teach them. And I think, like, NMB has always been very special, especially to the people of Osaka. I'm sure. I was just in Osaka this weekend, for the big, there's a big type on it, Shinsaibashi Sun Hall. And, like, it was like, I was thinking about that. I was like, wow, like, I'm not that far away from the NMB theater, and I'm not that far away from the history of AKB. And I kept thinking, like, but yet NMB's power isn't here. Like, it needs to be there. Like, I want to be reminded of NMB everywhere, So Miru has a gold opportunity to do that. She's got the face, the look, the body, the voice. She's got it all. She's a triple threat. And on top of that, she's got a good team behind her. That I know if we just knew more about, if there was more of a presence, we could all get behind. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's what they need. And it also wouldn't hurt if Miru had a Milky to her. You know what I'm saying?
You need a rifle. You need a rifle.
And
something.
a proper rifle. It's like,
yeah.
I see Shibuya Nagisa getting in there as well as like a top member, but she doesn't rival Shiroma Miru. It's more like an extension of what she is, and I want to see that Osaka funniness again, like. And probably that it's still there, and if we search for it very clearly, but I want to see it in the main events where like everyone from the AKB48 group fandom can see it, and not like this closed off NMB only section. And I think that's the majority behind it. So
totally freaking agree with that.
Okay, any other thoughts on the NMB situation?
No, you guys said it. Guys have said enough. But in the sense that you incorporated it all, I think.
Yeah. One thing I'll say is I'm curious what our fans think as usual. Is there somebody that would make a good pair with Miru? And I'm talking specifically to our fans who really love and know NMB and could actually give a legit comment that like is based on like what they know. Like I would love to know their thoughts, because this is more for Osaka and more for the fans of Osaka and like NMB. You know, NMB represents Osaka, like all that, like all the whole like Kansai area. So, you know, I want to hear from them. I know we all do. So, definitely, please let us know.
All right. So further at the handshake event that happened this weekend, this was also, and thank you DX for correcting me because I was completely lost in this situation. The final handshake event for the three girls that going to IS-1. That's Miyawaki Sakura, Honda Hitomi, and Yabuki Nako. Their last event.
Wow.
And now they're gone for 2.5 years. They will still be participating in the 54 single No Way Man, but no more side events, no more other events. Just limited dates because the IS-1 train is very, very full ahead. And I showed you guys a picture of I think the third teaser for their mini album.
Yeah.
Pictures. And like Derek even said, that's Yabuki Nako.
Yeah, I was like, huh? Are you for real? No way. What?
The change in them is so much more drastic, and you can tell that's, and this opens up another whole discussion. I would say, I think the management behind IS-1 is a lot stronger than what AKS is. Like by far, like the amount of time and money I believe is put into this for this debut album is just crazy, and this is a way to see this is how it's done, I would say, because the biggest group right now is IS-1 to me, and they haven't even brought out their songs yet. This is just the hype up build before that. You know, their TV shows coming up next Wednesday. You said the
upcoming, yeah, in 3 days or 2 days actually.
Yeah, so, the mini lives they do, all these segments that they have, and the fandom behind them is also strong because the international group is a lot stronger as well. So news comes out faster. Everything that comes out has been subbed in like the day itself. So it's a lot easier to follow. So what do you guys think about her last handshake event for 2.5 years and going forward?
It's going to be weird because, well, Miyawaki Sakura was supposed to be the next ace for both HKT and AKB, and well, that's pretty much not possible anymore. And after Miyawaki Sakura, it was supposed to be Yabuki Nako's. So yeah, not really sure how this is going to work out. But however, I do have a feeling they are becoming way more accessible if you compare it to the AKB days. Because if I were to take a look at the amount of content sub from AKB, or even the content available from AKB Worldwide is pretty limited. And if you take a look at all the K-pop groups, you can you can just click it on Spotify, for example, and just listen to it. Well, I'll try searching around for AKB on Spotify. I only see the soundtrack they made for Wreck-It Ralph, and that's it. So yeah, it's more like.
Hey, they're getting better at Apple Music. The groups are in there. Just AKB itself not, but NMB has currently updated, SK is updated, and the Sakamichi series are updated. The rest of them, not so much. Getting
Exactly.
there.
So yeah, so they've become way more easy to access if you compare it to the AKB48 days. So it's going to be interesting, and I just hope AKB Group learns from Ice One on what they do and implement it in their own, because they have a lot of catching up to do.
There's also current show that they've done that's called Idol School, and that's a Korean TV show. And yeah, one day later it stopped completely in there. So if you want to see that, just search for Idol School and then go ahead and watch that. But Derek, you have something to say?
Yeah, I don't know if it's really fair to compare AKS's management to iZone, because they're not dealing with iZone's not dealing with 300 plus girls spread over like several different countries. South Korea is a very small place in that regard when you compare to AKS's reach and what they have to deal with on a regular basis, or not deal with, because they don't deal with it very well. But I would say, yeah, I mean, iZone definitely has got a great marketing team, but again, less people to market, you can focus a lot more on the individual girls when you're, you only have so many to focus on. But I will say at the same time, yeah, I mean, AKS, AKB, our family, like, we always can do better. We're always harping and griping, especially me, about like doing better, doing more. The subbing thing, I don't even want to go there, because like our subbing community has always been tremendous. They've always been great. We all love them, and we all have supported them. Again, if Koreans are like super fast about subbing stuff, good for them. There was a time when there was how many variety shows out, and those things were getting subbed like literally day after, 2 days after, in our community too. But I think it comes down to enthusiasm. All of our subbers, they got to be enthused about stuff, and well, maybe there's just not a lot to be enthused about lately.
Very true.
Yeah, true.
We've been in a drought. We've been in a huge drought, and I think when things get picked back up, club bangers start coming out, and maybe a great show comes out that really inspires us, or AK Bingo gets back to being AK Bingo and not this weird thing it is now. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel then we'll see more people getting on stuff. We'll see more promotion, more subbers getting excited. But for now, the subbers, just do what you do.
Yeah,
we love you.
Speaking of the AK Bingo, it's like even this week was like the Halloween episode. Nothing.
It was so bad.
Nope. Yep.
I remember.
It was just bad.
I remember that the Halloween costumes were like a lot of fun, and this was so jokey, and now it's like, oh, there again for third year in a row. It's like, yeah, we get it. They had one hit, and now you're trying to fish more out of that one moment, but. No, it wasn't really like, oh, I'm enjoying this so much, and I really enjoyed the Halloween costumes they had from the few I saw at the Handshake event that I sent you guys.
Yep.
When in particular Taniguchi Megu and Gomiya Mahardika.
Gomi, wow. Wow.
That's what I want. That's what I see. That's excitement, but I think. That's like you said, the content that is out there is still a lot, but it's just cookie cutter, just throw it out there. It isn't enthralling compared to what the other content is, and I think that's why the established subbing group that we used to have, that we used to have in the AKB48 subbing group is not there anymore, and that's why it's hard to compare. Again, also the management thing. I'm just looking at the main Senbatsu members, and do you feel that management is really pushing out there, hey, they're now on this, or they're doing this, or they're doing this, or is it the members themselves doing that?
Members.
It's like, hey, Senbatsu member, I always go to her, but Okada Nana, what is she doing? It's like, hey, I got this theater I'm doing for Majimure Gakuen. Please come to our show. Hey, tickets are this and this. And she's promoting the hell out of herself for all these events, and like, hey, now is this coming up? And then almost, hey, I'm doing something on Instagram. Hey, be sure to watch us on All Night Nippon, and we're gonna do some showroom stuff like this. I don't see. I think I saw a post or like a news item about Nakai Rika that he was having actually like
have divorced. Yeah.
Yeah, like she was like or NGT doesn't promote my stuff, and that's weird. It's like I have to push them to ask them for a tweet only about my upcoming events. Why isn't that? And it's like some fans are like, well, she's pushing herself. That one, like, she is right. It is weird that she is a member of NGT48, and NGT48 itself, the management behind it, doesn't promote their own members. Why do the members themselves have to promote themselves? Maybe it's a learning question, but as you're part of the group, it's supposed to be like, hey, we're promoting you. That's part of the deal, right? So weird how that actually goes. What do you guys think?
Weird. Colin, what do you think?
About that? DVDs usually don't sell well, and when they do a concert, it's probably that the people that are going there are the big money, where they take the money from, as well as the merchandise that they sell. So probably, saying like, hey, there's a DVD. Not that many people will buy it. Usually those are pretty low for them to get a big amount of money out of it. So I think but in her case, I could also say maybe they don't care for her to do such a thing. But hey, who am I? I think it's something along the lines of the money. It's the CDs where it's at. And getting a handshake ticket out of that.
CD, not even. It's the ticket, always a ticket.
Yeah, they're getting it from there. One, you know what I mean.
Maybe that's it. Maybe it's because, again, what I just mentioned, the save points. They're like, hey, money's still coming in, we're making profit, and we don't have to do all this extra work. Maybe that's the idea. And IS-1, if we compare to that, they haven't debuted yet, so they still need to push them to the moon to get that fan base. And then we're looking at the entire history of AKB48. Maybe they're now in a position for far too long that there's like, it's just smooth sailing. Like, what are we doing? Just throw something out there. They buy it anyway. I think a lot of companies get that. And I am a hypocrite for saying that because I work for one of those companies, of course.
Yep.
But you can tell, and I'm not because I'm just work there. You can still tell that the effort is still there in that company. But like the other companies, they have like the monopoly style. It's like, we got this market anyway by the bag, so. Here you go. Just feed the peasants, and see how they will eat it. Anything, even if it's crap, they'll still eat it, and we will still earn money. I think the biggest thing that would be a good change for AKS, or like the whole management system over there, is like, okay, just let them lose money and see what happens. But then you get the bad downsides, like, oh, we have to close this group down since we're losing money and we cannot afford this group anymore. And then all those members are out of a job, basically. So you get those downsides before they go up again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, there. Go ahead.
No, I mean, you bring up Apple, and you know, I use iPhones and stuff. I mean, I'm not a Mac guy, but I definitely use an iPhone. And you know, to me, Apple and AKS are in the same spot, like you said, because like with Apple, for example, they have, since Steve Jobs passed away, I just feel that that the whole company has just gone downhill, because for them, you know, releasing a new iPhone with like, you know, a few degrees better vision in the camera, that's an event. No, that's not an event, my friend. That's an update. There's a difference. You know, Steve Jobs used to make these gigantic conferences, and he was like, "We're in for something great tonight."
Yeah,
and
exactly.
you knew you were.
Yep.
You knew you were, because he wouldn't do that unless there was a big reason to do it. Now, the reason why I bring this up is because Apple has consistently just been getting more and more garbage. You know, I mean, they're horrible at this point because they're not doing anything great, innovative. They're not changing the world like they did. They changed the whole world, not once, not twice, like 5 times. And I mean, maybe that was all that Apple was ever supposed to do. But for me, when I compare that to AKS and what AKB has done, they changed the world too. They changed Japan forever. And they didn't do it once, but they did it many times, you know? And the thing with me is AKS and Apple have the same exact problem. They got to look to what made them great. And they're just not doing that. Okay, if they're just focused on sales, which seems Apple and AKS are doing now because they have these big companies to run, they can't downsize necessarily because a lot of people lose their jobs. Nobody wants that. So it's money, money, money. But if they just go back to the way back time machine, not even way back, go back 5 years, and you can see exactly what made AKB work, just like Apple can see what made Apple work. And while, yes, Steve Jobs is a big part of Apple's, tradition, there's so many brilliant minds that work at Apple. Any one of them can step up. I know they can. I have a hard time believing Apple doesn't employ some of the best people on the planet because if they do, I just can't feel that Steve Jobs' legacy is now completely wasted.
Let me just say on that note, the opportunities in that company are big, and they still want to develop. But if you compare what it was to what is now, it's like, yeah, this is the new one. It's a new color, and we updated slightly. $1,100, please. That's how it goes.
Exactly.
But the problem is, and that's also what I'm trying to mention, is even though we have a lot of critics that go against the company, there are so many more people who are like, here you go, I'll take 3. It's like, I don't know, it's just a new one. Exactly.
I mean, they have a brand. When you build a brand, then you can rest on the brand laurels. But when you rest too much, that's when stagnation occurs. So with AKS, they have to look in the past, and they would see, like what I did today. I came home from what I was doing. I grabbed some food. I just put on an AK Bingo, random, and it was the one right when Heavy Rotation was coming out, and it was a Muchiburi Dodgeball episode, and I laughed so hard and so much. And I've seen it a million times, but it's so funny to just, watch Yuko like whip that freaking ball at girls and just bang them out. And then when she gets hit, everybody's happy. And she's laying on the floor like, and she's like, no!
Usoda! Usoda!
Usoda! Yep.
And it's like every single moment in that episode was historical gold. Sai-chan selling bananas, or the what's her name doing the radio thing, and all the kids start coming, and it's like,
God, yeah.
every single moment perfect. And all these people have to do at AKS is just flip back and look at that and say, we have the girls to do this. Because yes, a lot of it was, Yuko's like Steve Jobs and Takumina's like Steve Jobs. They all had these incredible personalities that really brought up. But I can't believe 300 plus girls in AKB now. There's not another Yuko. There's not another Takumina or Maeda. There's plenty. We love them. We support them. Your girl, Colin, like Yukuru, didn't she just have something amazing happen to her?
Yeah, but we're getting there later.
We'll get there later. But
it is good. I'm happy.
My point is, there are so many talented girls. You could easily construct another great AK Bingo, another show, another this around these girls, and revive the spirit of what makes me laugh when I put on a random episode from the past. And it's not nostalgia that made me do it. It's because it's just good content. And it's creative content. And back then it was innovative too. But you could still come up with new stuff and be just as innovative. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole key. That's the whole gridlock. Better songs, better usage of your girls. We've been saying it for at least a year now. And guess what? You're gonna be right back to the AKB we all know and love. That's all it is. That's all it is.
Perfect.
Case closed. I'm done. And rant.
Yeah.
But now I'm interested, Colin. Now I'm interested.
Yeah.
What happened?
When
was it? I believe it was like Saturday at the end of showroom. She was like, at the last minute, I have an announcement tomorrow. I was like,
No.
I was like, don't you dare. And I believe it was announced at the Handshake event. And she is starring in a new musical. No, not musical, sorry. A stage play in December. And she's the lead.
Always good. Always a good factor. Look at all the other members who done that and what their role are currently in.
So I was very happy. Everyone was very happy.
Okay. Awesome. Luckily. Looking forward to that. What is the stage play about?
I forgot. It was in Japanese, but it was like not like written on like thingy, so I couldn't translate it by myself. I only know that it's with a company. She is familiar with. She has done stages with already in the past, even one this year. It's I forgot the title, but it's I'm just happy that she.
It's very good for her to have this. Okay. Now I gotta say, on the sister group side, that they're doing pretty well for themselves still. With the new song that came out, Nogizaka46 22nd single.
Oh, yes.
Currently, the title escapes me, but I saw the video, and I love it. The song is very nice to the ear, especially around this time of year. I would say the style is perfect for that, but the story behind this song, the MV, that really took me away, because basically it tells the story of two tales: the what if she made the bus and what if she didn't make the bus.
Yeah.
And it's I don't know if this is true or like how she applied for Nogizaka46, but it shows the side that if she made the bus, she the Nishi no Nanase, by the way, if you don't know, if she made the bus, she'll just go to school and become an artist because she's good in drawings and certain type of art. And you see other members that are also in school and just hanging out with her, having fun. And then you see the other side, and she's like excited, like, oh, new opportunities, going to dancing, and she sees like practice is very hard, very rough.
Yeah.
And she's going to school, but she still feels like there's a little bit emptiness, and she doesn't get like some kind of. She's trying to draw, but she doesn't feel like she's getting there. And then there's a moment that her sensei is like showing up and says, "Oh, you're doing fine, perfect job." She gets happy. Then her friends show up. It's like, "Hey, we're going to this concert," and it turns out it's the Nogizaka46 concert.
Yeah.
And there's also a moment in between where they meet, and then it shows that in the end, even though like the Nishi no Nanase who's at school, she wanted to be on stage, and the Nishi no Nanase who's on stage, she wanted to be in the crowd. And just to show her, it's like it tells the story that it doesn't matter what the road was, it still ends up what you want to have in life. And I really enjoyed the video that's telling that story. Like, choreography was nothing much, but the song itself, like listening to this while this MV is showing me, it tells the perfect story for me for Nishi no Nanase, and a great graduation send-off, I would say. What do you guys think about the MV?
The song title is, by the way, Kairi Michi wa Tomamari Shidaku Naru.
Awesome.
Yes, I spoke a bit too fast, but that's kind of habit me. The song itself is really easy to listen to, actually. I just listened to it a couple of times. I was like reading, and like, is the song already over? Repeat. Already over? Repeat. How many times did I press repeat again? And like, I really like this song. And afterwards, I saw the video, and it's like, this really looks like a butterfly effect style of music video, because just a small thing like getting on the bus or missing the bus can have such big consequences in the long run. And the video was really interesting to me, and I really like the song as well. So it's a great package for me. Yes, just a great package for me. So yeah.
Colin?
It's very Nogi like you can hear it and be like, oh yeah, that's like Nogizaka, and the MV is it's great, like exactly what you said, like what you get out of it. That's great. The song I didn't didn't do it for me. I've heard it once. It's like, yeah, it's nice, but I don't feel like listening to it again. That's mostly because I separate what I see and what I hear. I take more interest in what I hear. If I like what I hear, I want to hear it again, and if I want to watch it again, I want to watch it again. I can like a song based on its MV more so than the song itself. And an example for that is Gangnam Check. I much rather love the MV for that than the song. I do like the song, but the MV is just so amazing. And it's also the best example that I can give before, because there are others where people will hate me for it. But this song is like, if I listen just to the song itself, it's like, it's nice, but I don't feel like putting it on my playlist. It's nice, it's not really for me.
Gingham Check. Yukari was so amazing at MV.
Yeah, I know.
Yep.
I know.
Like the camera has, she steals the camera like 3 times in that.
Yep.
One
I
video.
was thinking about that song. I think it's more of a neutral song to say, because I can't say others and then people hate me. But I do like the song from King and Jack. But the MV that's one of my favorite MVs.
Very good. Well, Derek, have you watched it actually, the Nogi Single yet? Derek?
There.
I'm sorry, you cut out.
Have you watched the Nogizaka Single actually?
Yeah, I caught it. I kind of skimmed it, to be honest. I'm not, again, Nogi's not really my
that's okay. Hey.
It was beautiful though. The MV was very touching. I think better than the song from what I heard, but I'd have to give it a little bit more of an in-depth listen, I think, to actually give a really valid opinion. And even then, I'm not sure it'd be valid because I'm not a Nogi fan. So, I mean, I am, but I'm not. Like, I support them. They're great. You know, all power to them.
Casual.
But it's just not really where my heart's at with the AKB world, you know. But I'm really happy to hear you liked it, Robin, because that's good. That's good. Like, I'm wondering about like all the normal Nogi followers, what they think. Like, I'm curious if they're feeling this is like, yeah, legit, you know.
And this is what I'm saying, what AKB is missing, because like Colin said, this is Nogi style, but still it feels new and fresh and still wonderful to watch this at this side. And again, the Yamamoto Sayaka's graduation song, or the single, not bad, very good. But if I've compared the two, I would say the Nogizaka one is just slightly better. More because of the MV. And it really emphasized the person. It feels like the control was more there. So I miss that. I really want that back in AKB48 in the entire group. The story just I think if I'm really going back from a good fun story MV, the first thing that comes to my mind of the recent videos is Kipoteki Refrain.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Great.
I think I like that story. And
another example. Yeah. Great.
Like in story wise, Bokutachi wa Tatakanai was like a bit weird. You know, suddenly there's a bird coming out of like this egg, and it brings the fire out like a phoenix or something. just a little fun story, a little bit, yeah. But if you look back at the one, they tried to make a big story that was one of the worst ones of the year. I named it the worst one of the year. So, but if I'm looking even further than that, can you name me one song from AKB48 group that had a very good story? Like the main singles, of course, because the coupling songs I always forget in the end.
You're talking about of all time?
No, from this year only.
Oh, this year only.
Oh, this year only. None.
None.
Not there, isn't it?
No.
Nothing that's like, hey, this one. No, that's like, you really have to think about this.
I don't know, but like a story MV to me doesn't necessarily equal good either. I mean, it might equal a look at maybe having more thought. I mean, when you look at Sayanee's one, you know, her video, where she's basically just doing like, you know, the run of walking and it's like, oh, everybody like that's like that took all 5 minutes to figure out. But then it's like Nana says, like, you know, this is like, wow, let's go back to the beginning, like when she was like this says something. Okay, that's definitely more thoughtful. But at the same time, like, to me, you could take a video like Koisero Fortune Cooking, or even your favorite, you know, song High Tension, Robin, and like, I don't know, like, to me that video is fun as hell. Like, I love watching it. I love watching
I get what you're saying, but the flow in there, it's very simple. And like in Koichi the Fortune Cookie, it's more like they go with the style of the dance, basically, and they tell what the song means to them. So it's the story of the song itself laid out in the MV. And there's still a story behind it. But again, I know what you mean, like a story like you're reading a book or a movie while watching like a little small movie. Yeah, sometimes it really backfires. Again, the one I will not name because it was such a bad song from last year, and everybody knows what I'm talking about. Or is it?
Well, I would say NGT's Russian song. Like, I'm not saying it backfired or anything, but it didn't grab me. You know, like it was cool, but it didn't grab me. It wasn't like I was so overwhelmed and impressed that they went to Russia. Versus NGT's second single blew me the F away with a great story, beautiful idea, Ogi ascending. It's like, that's how you do it, ladies and gentlemen. And that was only last year, so there we go. But this year, you know, well, let's go to Russia and we're going to make an MV cool. All right, I mean, okay. But it didn't really work for me.
So, happy with Nogizaka46. Sadly, Nishino Nase is also leaving, so again, another powerhouse from another group leaving in there. That's gonna be rough time to close the year, basically. But again, new fresh chapter for 2019. Although, and I think we should mention this because we forgot to mention it last week, when you leave, it doesn't mean you're gone forever. Never. In entertainment, you're never gone forever. The reunion of No Sleeves will be coming up, and what are the dates basically? Or they're just announcing that they are gathering for like a special event or something, right?
I believe it was November. The 26th, I think. Did they ever like? Did they just went on hiatus, or was it like, yeah, we're done, we're disbanding? Because, or was it, yeah?
It was disbanded when Takamina graduated.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then it's fine that they're doing a reunion event for the 10th anniversary. That's great. That's fun. Those three are as thick as thieves. So it's like, yeah, fun. Could be great.
Legend.
Well, I lost my train of thought. Okay, so again, we also saw that there was an event with AKB48, like doing it like a Taikai battle. I personally thought it was like, isn't it too early for Kohaku? But they were at like this other festival.
Oh, yeah.
And they performed together with Itano Tomomi.
And Kasai Tomomi.
And Kasai was there too?
Yeah.
Ah, really? That was really nice. So see, it's like you're out but not gone forever. You can always return. In entertainment, you never know. You never know what will happen. It's like, I'm just tired of this full-time schedule. I'm gonna be like part-time ish.
Yeah.
Or get a good payday out of it if you want me.
Yeah.
And we'll just say it's like, yeah, it's like the special anniversary. So come in the MV. It's like, sure, maybe.
Yeah, the 48 group doesn't really have that. I'd say Hello Project does that. much more.
Wait. What do you mean the 48 group doesn't have that?
When it's like graduated members come like back to some capacity or have like a reunion of some sort. You know, if you just forget about what happened with Wada Fest, with Itano and Kasai, think of something else where a graduated member did something with a 48 member or group in a thing.
Okay, I'm
See, that's 2015.
That's one. Okay, I just mentioned Kiboteki Refrain.
That's a long time ago.
No, that's not that long, but I mean, those are members that left and came back.
Yeah, but it's more so that with Halo Project, it's like just the other day, you guys don't know this. They had this thing. It's like with nature. It's I forgot what it's called, but it's like so many members, X that are not currently doing anything with Halo Project are coming back for it. It's Saitoyama something. I need to check what it is, but it's like Barry Scobo members came back together. Cutes, there were some members there, and there were some members from the current lineup also there, and they all came together, but not necessarily because it was Halo Project. It was something that Hello Project tends to do every year. I just where is it? I forgot. Satoyama and Satoyama and the Satomi movement. I don't know what it is exactly, but it's like a thing that they do every year. They have been doing that for very long.
Well, to be fair, the members, the ex-members, still meet a lot with each other. You still have the units that go on. They still have like the fan events you can go to. That's not promoted by AKS, of course, but it's like on their own fan page, their clubs they have, or their MOBA basically. So it still happens, I would say, Colin, on the 48 group. I think a lot there.
Behind the scenes, more so.
Again, the self-promotion is the key in the 48 group, like we talked earlier on the show. Just, again, a big example, we just talked about No Sleeves returning. And if we looked at when Takamima was about to do her last Koku, who showed up? It was Mai Datsuko and Ojima Yuko for that special occasion. We also had, I think, Watama Mayu showing up after she just recently graduated. She's like coming back, like, hey, I'm also on this show. So that's what I'm saying, and it's not only with AKB48, it's with everything in entertainment. When someone retires, and we always talk about wrestling on the show like a lot, when someone retires, it's like, yeah, you're retired. We'll see you in a couple of years. And they always come back. They always do like, oh, let's do one more match, or one more song. Let's do just a special occasion. So
I do know that Dave Bautista, he's from Guardians of the Galaxy. I know that he's been a former wrestler. I don't know anything about it, but I think that he's doing something in a capacity with wrestling.
Yeah, he was last Tuesday was the 1000th episode of WWE SmackDown, and he returned with his group Evolution. And he's like, why am I talking about wrestling? But all right, just to keep it fair, just inform Colin. Basically, he said he promoted like the guy who now runs a little bit of WWE, like Triple H. It's like he done everything except beat me, and the fans went, "Oh my God, one more match!" And you hear the crowd going, erupting like this. So basically, when WrestleMania is coming up, who wants an extra payday? Dave Bautista will be fighting Triple H probably. So I mean that in entertainment. So it's listening to the fans in entertainment business, and it's always people like returns. People like when it's like we mentioned so much on this show when we like watching old school AK Bingo. When, and I'm not saying that they will not do it, but when AK Bingo, the currently ones, are doing a Muchaburi dodgeball, or they announce it, we'll go crazy. It's like, oh, it's Muchaburi dodgeball, because we love it so much on what it was, and we try to relive it. And that's what in entertainment is. You try to rehash what's in the past that's well, and what we're saying with the music, just use the old stuff because the old stuff was great for a reason. And I get it, you want to try the new stuff, but if the new stuff is not working, try and do the old stuff once in a while to keep that fan base going, like, hey, give us what we want, give us what we need in entertainment. Basically, that's it. That's why they do it. So, hopefully AKS listens. You watching this show, I know. So
tomorrow they will announce like something.
Yeah.
Oh, it'll happen inevitably with us.
Maybe it's their red versus white, and it's like, I don't know, Mayu. Oh no, Mayu did that last. I don't know, someone.
Old school versus new school.
Yeah.
That would be a wish that we do not. That does not get granted.
Or you get paired up with like senpais from
that
former
would be
group.
nice.
We'll probably see a lot of senpais in the Koku this year.
Maybe.
You think?
We'll see.
I believe, I have a feeling either Yamamoto Sayaka will be a judge. That's the first thing that's coming up in my mind.
Most likely.
Yeah.
And I don't know what Yuko doing nowadays. But Oshima Yuko, by the way. So I was just doing stuff on my day off, and I see all of a sudden on Instagram, Oshima Yuko or Yuko is doing an Instagram live. I was like, oh God, going over there, and she's seeing it's like 7,000 people at once, and it's like pause, go, pause, go, pause, go, life ended. Like, what? She just said hi, 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 and then it stopped.
Done.
Still, people really want to see her on that moment, so Who knows?
Mm.
Maybe that was a test in the water. Do people still want to see me? I don't know. You never know.
She's doing different things, but I'll move on.
Nah. What else? What else? Guys, help me out here. What else do we need to talk about?
Kojima Mako announced Friday. Well, she announced an announcement, and everyone was like, "Oh."
I hate when they do that. I hate when they do
Poor
that.
Yayo. Poor Yayo.
Oh yeah. Oh, he's not alone. I was like, no. But she is doing two things. She wanted to do, I should say. I'll be getting there in a moment. Tokyo bus tour ride thingy. Soon with the fans, a fan event, and she also wanted to do something in Korea. However, there's something weird with that going on. Her agency is fine with it. It's Sun Music, I want to say. They're like, yeah, go, yeah, Korea, yeah, fun, go. But from what I've heard, that AKS is like, not to say that they're actively preventing it, but they are in a way. But I mean that
They're not helping.
They're not helping. Yeah, that's probably the better thing. So she has to postpone it because she wanted to do it in December. But I think before anyone else wants to talk about it, I think it's great that she wants to do a fan event. Komiya Mahardika just did a fan event with Ichikawa Minami and Yumoto Ami. They got the whole theater for like an hour, and they did a set list of like, I want to say 10 songs, something around along those numbers. And fans came, and it was fun. And now Kojima Mako is also doing it. I hope, and I want to see that happening. That more girls are like, hey, I want to do like a fan event. An example, Mion doing like a dinner party. I don't know. It's just something that came up. It's like, that would be interesting that the girls are like, I like to do something with the fans. What can I do? And then they're doing it. Kojima Mako is doing a bus tour. She wants to do something in Korea. What? I don't know. And the three Team K girls I just mentioned, they did like a theater performance with the three of them. That's cool, I think.
Yeah, one occasion that happens. Like more of the top members do that. You know, you had Sachihara doing the dinner party that she did for the like a concert meal event. You have them doing things in the AKB48 cafe when they have like small events in that.
That's also a thing, but that's more with AKB and like in the setting of the cafe, where it's like you could say that maybe AKS or like the people over there want to do it. While I think I see that what Komi and Koji Mako are doing is more on their own. They wanted to do it. They wanted to initiate it, and not them. But that is an example.
Yeah, Yukarin solo concerts.
Yeah, she is. I think Taiwan, China. She's doing like concerts. She's doing.
Yeah, the stuff like that.
That's something.
I would like to see that more. You know, going out there, and I think Derek's had that idea like a half year ago, or even longer than that ago. He said like, do that, go out there, and then have fun having events.
Come to Europe. This year, one tiny thing. This year was the 60th anniversary between Japan and France. We say it differently. France. La France. We say it a bit differently. They had like a 60th anniversary thing, but they didn't particularly do something big. They have the Japan Expo every year, and Equal Love appeared there, but they could have like done something, you know, with that. Like a few members of AKB going to Paris.
That's the thing. 2 years ago, no, last year actually, not the last year at Japan Expo, Yukarin was there.
Yeah. If that was not announced on time, I would have gone.
Yeah, it was too late an announcement, but what was the backlash behind it? It was like 10 people. 10 people showed up or something and supported her. Still amazing, but it wasn't... She had like this small stage, and you would think name like her should be on a bigger stage, but it not promoted well enough.
It really felt like a last-minute thing, because I wanted to go, but I needed like one more, because I didn't have enough reasons to go. And if they announced it like 3 months earlier, I would have totally gone.
A friend of mine, you know, she performed on a bigger stage than Yukarin in Japan Expo, and that's saying something.
It's like, they could have like done something. They've done it in the past, like not even AKB. Like I get why Hello Project, I don't know, but they do that so much better also overseas. I don't know. You do not want me to go there, but like they do that so much better. It's like there is, if you announce it on time. I think Morning Musume is going to New York. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe someone back me up. And it's like they've planned it not planned it in advance. They've told it in advance, so more people come. And if it's like last minute like that, it's like not good.
Maybe they do it for a reason, because Iriyama Anna, for instance, last minute, he was like last week when we ended the show. It's like, I'm in LA. It's like,
yeah.
Thank you for saying you were in LA, but if you announce that sooner, then people will actually try to say hi. Maybe she was trying to avoid that. You never know the situation.
She went to Disneyland. It's like, I want to go to Los Angeles.
She's back in Japan, by the way.
Yeah, the cast of like Lenya,
yeah.
I believe they are doing like a second. They are doing a second season, and I believe that it's planned that they will shoot over there for something. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, when I took, Necroma and Yanamiu and Hanako to Disneyland, we didn't announce it, and because we didn't want fans to show up and like trail them. And so in Iriyama Anna, she's 30 times bigger. I'd smart of her to not say anything. I wouldn't dare release that information. But at the same time, getting back to what you guys are talking about, I do think like it's really important for idols to be idols and make themselves accessible and have the meet and greet experience. It's tricky on a major label or a major level because it's not like the underground world where the meet and greet is very intimate, very much in your face, and you can do it anytime for the most part. It's encouraged. Some idols even go way crazy and do extra type of meet and greet situations that are maybe in some cases borderline risky, but also at the same time interesting. But major, it's like, again, it's about money. It's about trying to keep your profit. It's about making sure that the assets that are making you that money, the idols, they're protected, they're safeguarded, and they're only used to the capacity you need them. So the creative process gets thrown out, because if you can just know that they're going to make X amount of dollars for you at a handshake event, and that's all you're really aiming for, why do anything special? Grassroots is just going to earn you cool points. You don't need the cool points. People are going to show up anyways. Again, you're relying on brand. So it would be interesting if, again, maybe a lesser known AKB idol, for example, not even lesser known. She's not lesser known. The girl from NMB who does the makeup.
Akari?
Akron. Like if Akron did like a 50 capacity, rent out a hall, and have a bunch of girls show up and then do a makeup class, and just have fun with all her girl fans. Like it may sound small, but stuff like that resonate.
Do you guys remember from Mette with Paru the whole situation?
With the lemon thing?
Wait, no, with not even with Yabe.
Yeah.
It is indeed the lemon thing, but with Yabe, it's like she needs to do a handshake event to up her personality. And what they did, we rented out a hall, like a mini concert, and 100 people could show up. Or that was the goal, right? Like 100 people?
Yeah, something like that.
A certain amount of people needed to come,
Yeah, and it's like stuff like that. They announced it. It was like last minute, and
people came.
Yeah,
guys, gals.
It worked, but it's like a little bit frustrating. It's like
the only thing I'll say though is the idol world here moves extremely fast. It's a flowing river with no dam in place. Like it really moves fast. Like you're here today, gone today, and also like things change last minute. Shows, things like that can get added if you're an idol group, like literally a week before you play it, or it's been in the works and your producer may not have put it up and let anyone know. At AKB's level, maybe that's not as much of an issue, but I would say when random things happen or pop up and there's no time to promote, like that is a tragedy. But it's also like, I think when it's no time to promote, you still do a great job. Wouldn't you think that would inspire groups to do more stuff like that? This one group I like, that Kakuryou Terra Architect group that I was telling you about that I saw, they every month I think they play one show at this one venue in Shibuya, and it's like they don't forget. Or like when I was seeing Guso drop, every Monday they'd play at Meguro and Rokumeikon. So stuff like that builds you. You know, you rely on it. You start to get to know the people going to this stuff. You create a community, in other words. And you know, when you have this great huge group with, you could create all these little communities based off some of these girls. Why not do it? Take 10 girls that nobody knows, put them together, create a little subgroup. I'm not even talking subgroup as in like music unit, although that would be cool too, because remember when AKB had that, you know, No Sleeve, Diva, Not Yet, you know, Mayu's one group that I can't ever pronounce the name.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, DX. Like, it's, you know, even if you did stuff like that, I mean, it'd be fun, you know, it'd be a lot of fun. And, like, you could get behind that. And then all those groups can play, like, little shows everywhere, or, you know.
They do it with Junken, and then they do only the winner gets one song and it gets forget next year.
Yeah.
Marketing. All right. So, anything else before we go to our recommendations?
Yeah, I mean, we got one big thing to talk about. Colin.
Oh no! Well, I was like, Sashi went to Thailand.
No, I'm sorry I forgot, Derek, about this situation. But yeah, that's a big thing we talk about, and we should talk about this, since it is important for. But I'm gonna give you the floor, Derek, and what's on your mind?
Well, before that, Colin, did you have anything to add about Sashi being in Thailand? I want
to. Well, BNK has finally finalized the 51 members that will participate in their Sousenkyo in January. They will do like the top 32. It's pretty interesting. I'm quite looking forward to that, even though I think it's a bit too soon. But I really want to know how that ends up. I hope that goes well. And I think Sashi met members. She performed Koiser Fortune Cookie. I believe she even gave like, advice on the Sousenkyo itself, something along those lines. It's not major, but it's interesting that she did that.
Very cool, actually. I mean, go Sashi for, you know, popping up in the least of all places I would have expected her. So
also
I mean,
a last minute thing.
Last minute, of course, but
it was great. Like the crowd was wow. Like
they probably went nuts.
That was amazing.
Very good. Okay. So, you know, I don't want to get morbid, but you know, I believe this week we suffered our first official death in the AKB48 family, if I'm not mistaken.
Technically, no, not anymore, but it is tie-in with the history that's connected to AKB48, I would say.
Yeah, like I knew this day was going to come, and, you know, I thought it'd be a lot more closer in terms of, like, the groups we follow. You know, one of the groups that broke off from AKB48 over in China, and kind of created its own segment of groups. So Shanghai 48 created all their little groups.
Ginza,
I think it was
Ginza.
Yeah,
Guangzhou.
Do Yue, she was 19. I'm probably saying her name wrong, and that's horrible of me, but she was 19 years old. She killed herself using carbon monoxide poisoning, which definitely is a clear, there's no mistaking that, you know, unless you are driving a car and you legit forget that you're in a car in a garage, you know, like you're killing yourself. And with carbon monoxide, it's a not a best way to go, but it's definitely a way. I don't know any details as to why she did it or the reason she did it. I don't know. I think, you know, Idols is all about, it's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be a good time. As much as we bitch and complain on this show about the things that go wrong with Idols, we all love Idols, and we'll always continue to love them, and that won't be an issue, I think, for any of us. And also the people that watch the show, I think, are big Idol fans. You know, to the sense that, you know, even in this drought, we're all pulling, we're all still there. In my case, I have the underground Idol world to keep me going, you know, because I'm in it and I live in it and I do stuff in it. But whenever I hear something like this, even if this girl wasn't an idol, she's 19. You know, life is so precious and life is so beautiful, and doesn't matter what you're going through. And believe me, that's easy for me to say if I'm not suffering on an emotional level like this girl must have been for whatever the reason. And I just, you know, my heart goes out to her family, her fans, the people of China that, must be suffering from this. That's not easy. And you may think it's just one girl, who cares? Well, we care. And again, technically not part of the AKB family anymore. Certainly had some very harsh words about what Shanghai's management did with AKS, and that's a whole debatable other thing. But at the end of the day, a young girl lost her life, and I think we should all really stop and think that we all have to support each other and show love to each other, and try to promote a sense of community here. And we should definitely make sure that the fans in China know that we love them, and we love these girls. And I think that's the message I want to put out there. That idling is about escapism. This girl couldn't escape something, and that's a tragedy, because she's in a business where it's all about giving escape to others. And how ironic that she couldn't escape from whatever was causing her harm in her life. So we always have to understand, at the end of the day, these idols are girls. They're humans just like us. They have feelings, they have emotions, they go through what we go through, right?
I think that's the biggest thing, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that my takeaway from this is that my heart truly goes out to her family, and everybody that knew her and was around her. So I'm gonna say to the people that watch this, show a little love to China tonight. Show a little love to those girls, and let them know that we're thinking about them, because it hit me a little hard this week. I didn't know the girl, I didn't follow them, but it's just part of the world I'm in, and part of we're all in. And what if it is somebody that we're much closer to?
When it's an active member that we know, that we follow, that suddenly has these feelings. I think it was also the timing. We just talked about at the beginning of the show. There were people actually comparing this with Miru, and they were afraid that because of her mindset currently, they're afraid that someone would go so far to this. And the girl you're talking about, she graduated from her group a few years back, and you don't know what happened in those times between, but it does seem that this girl needed help and couldn't find it, and the only answer she found was doing it by this way, and that's never the answer, to be honest. But I get the feeling where it's rough to make something like that and decide something like that.
Yeah, in Miru's case, she was. I almost felt more, just from the tone, what I read, almost felt like it was more complaining than it was like saying, "Hey, I need help." But at the same time, I don't know, even in Miru's case, as much of a hypocrite as I'm going to sound, like, I do feel for her too. I also think she should kind of, in my opinion, and this is going to sound mean, suck it up, because I think she's in a great position to ascend. But I also, at the same time, I don't know, maybe she is genuinely feeling some serious hurt from everything. And that's the thing too, at the end of the day, I can't forget that. None of us can. That, like, these are just young girls that, like, are providing men, women, children, old, young, all races, sizes, nationalities, a chance to forget about their lives, and to just have fun, smile. Every show I've ever been to, Idol and the AKB level to the Chica level, it's always a joy. I've yet to go to a bad show in 4 years. That's saying something. Yet. And even AKB, for all the complaining, you put me at a handshake event and they start, I hear the overture.
Yep.
My heart is going a million miles a second. And I'm there, and they can play the crappiest song in their catalog, and I'm still happy. I'm still, like, smiling, because it's just the joy of being there. And then I think about this girl on stage, what she must have suffered, and then got out of her group. And again, it could be one of the girls we know very special, like Nachan was there. Okada was going through some serious stuff. Harubi, serious stuff. Drina, who knows? Like, we can't ever forget that. So as much as we're complaining, at the same time, if they're that close to Jisatsu, and they're really thinking about it, then, like, my heart goes out to them. And even if it doesn't, my heart still goes out to them. I think if anyone's listening, there's people to talk to. Talk to us. That's our show's all about talking. That's a message.
It's in the title.
No, that's true. 48 talk. I think that's a good thing, because, again, yes, we complain a lot because it's easier to complain than finding a solution.
Yeah.
But if we always keep in mind that even though we're complaining, doesn't mean we don't forget that there are people too with their lives, and we only try to find a solution or somewhere to find a way that we're enjoying stuff, because that's the thing. We are still enjoying the fact that that's why we still do the show, basically.
Yep.
And like you said, if people have trouble, just talk it out. That's the way to do it, because it might feel that you're alone, but you're not. There's always someone that is available. You just and that's the rough part, because even though it's very hard, you need to find that courage to just to open up and talk to someone, because there's always someone that will answer to you. All right.
My heart goes out to her and her family.
Thank you, Derek, for mentioning this. Even though normally we try to find always the fun stuff, we always need sometimes to find the real stuff that's happening as well. And this is part that is also very devastating, and it's very real. And yes, so but let's now move on to then the recommendations for next week. And on a personal level, I'm looking for the Okada Nana solo concert. I'm waiting. It's the 19th. It's now the 22nd of October. 19th came out. I still cannot find it. I am searching high and low for it, and I know people have bought it. And I'm not saying I'm condoning the leeching, and I should order it myself, but I don't have currently $100 to spare for a concert. So hopefully someone will be very lovely and putting it online so I can watch it and enjoy the hell out of it. That's my recommendation for that week. And of course, the usual at our Patreon, we started a new show. It's called 48 Watch. And by the looks of it, people really like it, the people who are on our Patreon. And I don't know where we're doing the next one, but I'm really excited for that. So
what is it?
Time. Well, that's a very good question, Colin. What it is basically we are watching a 48 group content, and namely we started with episode 1 of AK Bingo from the past 100 episodes. I think we started with episode 67 or 69? 67.
No, 67.
67. Okay, and just by our reactions and just watching this, it was a lot of fun. And just going to relive through all these moments. And I would say, if you really enjoy that and you want to join us watching these episodes, then by all means go to our Patreon and support us in this way and have a great time just watching these episodes with us. So I think that's a very good recommendation to go to if you're willing to support us in some kind of way. Alright, DX, what is your recommendation?
For me, it's the first program that is going to be released this week for ICE1. It's going to be a reality type of program, I think, and I'm quite interested, and I'm really looking forward to more Korean-Japanese idol interaction, I would say. So.
Didn't they show Shin-chan's butt in the preview?
I think so. I don't know. I haven't
always shows his butt.
I haven't seen all the previews yet, so but yeah.
They were in a store talking, and then suddenly the Sakura's there. It's like, look, there's Shin-chan's butt. And
yeah.
Like, oh.
Yep.
Good preview.
But yeah, that's for this week as well. So Eyes Want You is the program called. So recommending that one, I would say.
Eyes Want You.
Yeah, Eyes Want You. That's really the name of the show. Yeah, I know.
Colin.
Sayanee's graduation concert. It will be live streamed, so that means that there will be something to watch. It is in 4 days by the time we record this. It's on the 26th this weekend. It's not the last thing she will do. She will have her final theater performance a few days later. I want to say early November. I may be wrong. But if people have the time, watch something amazing. It will be amazing. I say it is, therefore it is. No. No, it will be.
Is it streamed on DMM or Nico?
Well, it will be streamed by Osaka channel. So okay. I think I saw a planning of probably Taiwan clubs.
Oh,
they probably do it.
Maybe we'll see. All right, Derek.
Yeah, I don't really have anything AKB related, so it's okay. I could just maybe do my Chica stuff. Yeah, well, so okay, so if you're in Japan, now, I guess tomorrow would be an absolute great day for you, especially if you're a Necroma fan. Okaki's birthday show is tomorrow, so her
Oh.
Seitan is going to be incredible. We're playing with Hamada System and Kiss Hug Extreme, I think. So that's going to be a great show. It's also at one of my favorite venues called Moon Romantic, which is in Gaianmai, I think. Moon Romantic has amazing sound, and it's also called that because there's a gigantic moon in the background, like on the stage. The stage is huge, so it's going to be a great show. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you're in Japan, come please. As far as my other recommendations for this week too, again, we are getting closer to the Oyahalo World 27 tour, which stars Oyasumi Hologram and Toriena on the west coast of America from November 1st through the 4th-ish. And then from the 7th on, it'll be in New York City with Necronomidal, Oyahalo, and Necronomidal. And then that will actually hit up Brooklyn a few dates, and then the New York Asian Music Festival, and then that actually has a bunch of people on it, including Ray-chan, who's doing a solo show there from Necromidal, and also my friend Opus Travelers, that's Chochi from Zeroshki, his side project, and then Philadelphia will be our last date on the tour. So the whole tour runs from November 1st to like the 11th. Tickets are still readily available. We have one free giveaway ticket still left. All the free giveaway tickets have been given out except for one. That's the one for the show. So I know our fans are all over the world and all over the country in America. So if you can make the show, you know somebody that can, again, hit us up in the comments. Let me know so we can get you a ticket. If not, then I'll just give it away to somebody else, I guess. But either way, thank you for your support, all of you, especially those of you that have been helping and talking this up on Facebook. Really appreciate it. Also, JoshBox will be coming to Japan, I believe, this week, or early next week. But basically, I've arranged a sit down with several idol groups where he's going to interview with me. That includes Oyasumi Hologram will be there. Toriana, who's not an idol, but she's been playing a lot with idols. She'll be there. Also, Ray-chan from Necronomidal will be doing an interview to talk about her solo work. Broken by the Scream, Nana Moral, and Lily Kayona. So if you guys have any questions about those groups or for those groups, leave in the comments. I've been collecting them, so I'm going to be gathering a bunch to ask them during the interviews. Also, Josh, I think he's going to have a bunch of fun stuff prepared for them. So it's going to be like one whole day. We're going to be doing that, and then expect to see all that content come out probably right after. So that'll be something, I guess, to look forward to as well. And yeah, I think that's all I have. So yeah, pretty easy.
Okay then. Oh, very good. Then thank you for watching this week's episode of 48 Talk. Look forward to all the next stuff, fun stuff that's happening next week, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Sayonara, Sayanee. Oh.